So let's raise the energy of the house, and I will say a few words, and you have to repeat it after me. Okay? Hand, hand, yeah. Sachin, condom, vagina. Okay, good. So my talk today is breaking myths on female sexuality, and I have chosen vagina as my topic. And a lot of people think that what is there to vagina? I mean, vagina is something, it's just like vagina. Is there something more to vagina? So I would like to start with a quote by Eve Ensler. She's an American playwright, and she's the founder of the play, which is called Vagina Monologues, which has chronicled stories of more than 1,000 women on their vaginas. Well, vaginas can be massive. They can give a birth to a child, and they can give birth to umpteen stories of female sexual depression, female sexual desire, female sexual oppression. So she says, I was worried. I was worried that what we think about vaginas. And even more, I was worried that we don't think about vaginas. Most women have a relationship of what I call as a necessary evil. You know, it's there coming as a monthly menstrual blood. You have uterine discharges, you have pubic hair. It's the site of intercourse, and yes, the unarguable fact that it is the site of the place of new birth. But that's about it. Vagina is much more than that. Vagina is something how I identify myself as a woman. When I call myself as a woman, it means I have a vagina. But am I really proud of the fact that I have a vagina? Have I really talked about it with my girlfriends? Have I really, in a moment of intimacy with my partner, have I really been encouraged to say that, okay, I want pleasure? Can you pleasure me down there? Lot of women, they don't do this because they are fighting that shame that their pubic hair is wrong, it's unhygienic. They are fighting the shame that my genitals are darker than my skin. And they are fighting the shame of what I call as a Barbie vulva. Yes. You know, the Barbie is the most distorted form of female body I have ever seen in my life. It has got breasts but no nipples. It has got these perfectly curved, arched legs. And Barbie has no vagina. Yes. And Barbie is the symbol of the femininity that we hand over to young girls, and we give them with a lot of pride, and we say, yeah, this is your, this is your symbol of femininity. But by that, we are also conveying to young girls that you are a woman, but you don't have vagina. You are disconnected with your vagina. There is more to it. There's more to vaginal shame. Do you know the etymological root of the word taboo? The taboo comes from the word tapua, which means female menstruation. Yes, the very origin of the word has period blood in it. And no wonder we show that blue fluid in sanitary napkin advertisements. Menstrual blood is not blue, it's red. But we are disgusted by the fact that we can't show blood, on TV. So we replace the color by blue. The sanitary napkin advertisements, they don't talk about vagina, they don't talk about a vulva. Young parents, like a young mom, when her kid asks her, where have I come from, mommy? She says, you have come from my belly, despite the fact that she has a vaginal delivery, which means we are ashamed of saying the word vagina. Young parents, they flinch at when their young kids say penis, vulva, but they give these alternative euphemistic names called Mickey, that thing. Nini, no, I don't know. There are so many different words that we have given to our genitals, but not the right names because we are ashamed of saying the word vagina and vulva and penis. I think they are our identity markers and they should be given that respect. There is something different than having it, owning it, and celebrating it. The body toxicity goes much beyond our genitals. It's with our whole bodies. We objectify our bodies every moment with the external gaze. We think what the other person is thinking about my body. That's what the mind talk is going in my mind. I objectify my body basis whether it is acceptable as per the social standards. And these social standards are anything but normal. If you see porn is a highly manufactured, it's highly altered, and it presents a certain sense of what I call as a abnormal normal. Porn deliberately deploys actors who have a certain kind of a body image, and who there are multiple retakes into the porn to make sure that that best aesthetically appealing image comes out on the scene. And we think that is what is the de facto sexual normal. And porn has bland vulvas. The vulvas on the porn, they don't have any pubic hair. They are perfectly symmetrical, small-sized, and white skin. And let me tell you, women watch porn. We watch porn and we internalize that image that we see in the porn. And there are so many stories. So I'm a sexuality educator, and I earn my living by talking about sex, educating people about sex, and helping them overcome the shame around their bodies and helping them accept and find pleasure in their bodies. And I get so many stories. There's a story where a male leader, he reached out to me and he said, he shared this experience with his partner. And he said that, he has a liking for pubic hair. And when he told it to her partner, which is a girl, she said, what kind of a man are you who likes pubic hair? So we take this shame so far, we think that having hair is unhygienic and ugly. I am all for the personal choices, women exercising their personal choices of what they want to do with their body. But when this choice comes from a space of disempowerment, where I think the pubic hair is unhygienic, where I compare myself with these standards of porn and media, where I am forced to remove my pubic hair because my partner demands, I think there is a problem. Women internalize that shame and they grow up with this shame. They grow up with this shame, they carry that shame as a baggage in their lives, thinking less of themselves because they have got this vagina, and vagina is not really accepted and celebrated as the penis does. There's actually a orgasm gap. When we talk about the orgasm gap, when we talk about that why 75% women in this country are not getting orgasms, the reason for orgasm inequality is also the genital inequality. We have to, when we are striving for feminism, feminism is also about genital empowerment. But women carry those insecurities around their vaginas. And let me tell you how these insecurities are cached in a $44 billion growing industry of genital grooming. Yes, the vagina has now become the face of the woman, where all sorts of creams, sprays, scents, douches are being invented to make her feel proud of her vagina. It's basically the beauty regime of the vagina. Yes. I'm sure 10 years down the line, we will have parlors where women are told to, change the vagina so that they look more desirable. So you need to spend money on your vagina to be more accepted. So the question is, are we really proud of we are carrying those genitals? Are we really proud of the fact that when we say we are a man or a woman or whatever sex we identified, do we really know from where it does come? Are we really proud of the fact that we masturbate? Do we really accept that masturbation is something which is totally normal? It is not seen as a sin? I get stories of women who have never masturbated all their life. My own story with masturbation, it came in my mid-30s. I have never masturbated before my mid-30s. It was so shocking to me even to realize that this was something that never came into my awareness. And I still see this when I counsel women and girls and when I ask them, have you masturbated? The answer is unequivocally no. And when I ask them, what do you think about masturbation? They point out to the same image that they have seen in porn or maybe on roads where they saw a certain man violently shaking his genitals. And they say, I cannot do this ever. And I say, what makes you think that this is the image of masturbation? Can you think of masturbation as a way where you're drawing pleasure from your body even as you are reading a book? And they look at me and wonder that, can there be an image like this? So we have created those mainstream images which are anything but normal, which are distorted, and we cash on this sexual shame through umpteen sources. The hype around hymen. Hymen is so much more hyped, and there is so much of miseducation that we have created around hymen. I routinely get stories from young girls who have had premarital sex and who are scared, what if our husbands would get to know about our hymen? When I was married, and when I got married, I was married in 25, and on my wedding night, I actually had the same fear. I was a sexually active woman before my marriage, And on the wedding night, I was shivering that what if my husband would get to know that I don't have a hymen? And I don't blame this fear given the kind of sexual miseducation we have. I still get that from young girls who ask me what to do. And I say, there is no way he can make it out. So just be cool about it. But fun aside, hymen is not supposed to be that opaque film-like covering that acts as a seal to your virginity. The point that we assert about hymen, and young girls have this fear around hymen, it makes virginity as some sort of, testable commodity, which is a misogynistic attitude that we carry around female sexuality. Hymen or no hymen, how does it matter? Does it really matter if your partner is not carrying a hymen? Or does it really matter if she says that I don't have a hymen anymore, dude, can you still marry me? I think we have to overcome these prejudices. So, I would end my talk with this, that stigma comes when information is lacking, and stigma comes to fill that, myths come to fill that gap. It is our responsibility to smash that stigma, and it is our responsibility to break these myths. And we can start it right here. We can start it by really acknowledging the presence of our genitals and take them as integral to our body as we do anything in our life. They deserve that place. So, spend that time with your genitals, have a talk with your genitals, and see them as your best friends. I think these are the identity markers, and these are the form of the core of our identity. And that's how I'd like to end. Thank you. Thank you.